Hello, this is Tim Hellman.
And Mark Donnell.
And this is Movie Talk. Today we're going to review the movie Kick-Ass 2. Kick-Ass 2 is the sequel to the cult classic 2010 hit Kick-Ass, and both films are based on the comic book series by Mark Millar and John Romita Jr. This film is based on the comics Kick-Ass 2 and Hit Girl. It's produced by the original film's director Matthew Vaughn, along with Brad Pitt and 3 others, and released by Vaughn's Marv Film Studio. Vaughn picked Jeff Wadlow to write and direct the film, which picks up where the last one left off. Dave Lazinski, aka Kick-Ass, played once again by Aaron Taylor Johnson, has now inspired many other average citizens to become superheroes, and decides to come out of retirement and go back into action. He first trains with Hit Girl, played again by Chloe Grace Moritz, but when she retires and tries to adapt to high school life, he joins a team of new superheroes, instead led by Colonel Stars and Stripes, played by Jim Carrey. In the meantime, Chris D'Amico, now going by the name The Motherfucker, played again by Christopher Mintz-Plasse, is plotting his revenge against Kick-Ass for killing his father. Carnage ensues, so much violence that Jim Carrey retracted his support for the film due to the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting causing a change of heart in him, he says. So what do you think of the film?
Oh, I liked the film. I thought it was great pace.
The pacing, I think, is one of the best parts about it.
Oh, yeah.
It just flies by. It's the fastest hour and 40 minutes I can remember on a
absolutely.
film.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It was.
The cutting was great. The editing.
There was no lag time. It kept you entertained.
Perfect balance of action and comedy, I thought. So what do you think of Jim Carrey?
I don't know. See, I disagree because, first of all, Jim Carrey, his gun wasn't even loaded and everything, and it was it was a.
Well, he's a big anti-gun guy in real life, so that's why.
Well, maybe that's what he did.
That's why I like the character. I do admire Jim Carrey for at least standing up for what he believes in, even though I don't agree with him. When it's not a popular opinion, because that's when it's hard to do. Like.
Well, you know what they say.
If you have like at least half the population on your side, which is most top topics, then it's easier to take a stance. But when it's something that the majority of the population is against you on, it's harder to stand up for what you believe in, I think. And so I think it's admirable that he still stood by what he thought.
That was a bit part, dude. I bet you he was only on set maybe 3 or 4 days max.
Maybe a week.
He was doing something different, and he did it.
And he was believable as a tough guy. Like, you believed he was this tough.
And he looked the character. I mean, he looked like the badass.
He's an ex-mafia, and I believed it.
Yeah, like born-again Christian.
He totally fit the part.
Kick-Ass is a total nerd, and then at the end, when he...
ripped.
Yeah, the guy, you wouldn't expect it. The guy takes his shirt off, he looks like Hellman. I mean, he's six-pack and everything. I'm like going...
He's in bad shape.
You would never know it. I was like, that guy's in shape,
He's definitely 12% body fat.
Oh, our last Hit Girl has the most jacked up hairdo, and I was going to say something to Tim. Yeah, and I was going to say something to Tim, like, guy, what's up with her hair? And then finally,
she cleans it all up.
To be the preppy,
to look popular, but
that was the difference.
Which I thought was a great storyline for this, because in the last one she was like 13, this one she's like 15. She's supposed to be, I think she's 16 in real life, but having her try to adapt to high school life was perfect for her. Yeah. It was nice to see it from a girl's point of view. It's usually always the guy's point of view being the nerd. And this one, the girl's the nerd.
Unaccepted into society of
picked
school.
On the way the popular kids get her is pretty cool.
Yeah. I only had that at Crescent Valley when I went to Philomath. Everybody blends with everybody. There's no such thing as groups. Actually, when I was looking at those groups, you got the good, superheroes, and then you got the motherfucker and his team of rotten guys. And I was thinking the whole time I'd rather be with motherfucker than he's got strippers in the pool with huge fake tits, and got stripper pole in the clubhouse, and I'm like going, I'd be a bad guy.
But they actually kill people, though. I keep pointing out in the end fight scene, how can they tell who's who?
Yeah. Everybody. They don't have name tags. They don't have. How do you know? There's 50 on one side and 50 on the other.
Even if you met each other once, are you going to be able to remember who?
Yeah, I just
in a fight like that?
Like my buddy once told me, if you don't recognize him, kill him. I guess that's the way you go.
And you like the main female villain, Mother Russia?
Mother Russia. Her face is. This is no kidding. A 1. But her body is smoking.
Well, it's like a man's head on a woman's body.
Absolutely, a really ugly man.
But a hot woman, though.
Yeah, but her body is unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was digging. I'm like going, let's borrow one of the masks from one of the other bad guys.
The Night Bitch was pretty hot too.
Yeah, Night Bitch she was hot.
Another female superhero.
Yeah, she actually looked better in her costume than she did without her costume.
And what rating would you give it?
Oh, 4. I'm gonna go 4 or 5. I liked it that much. It was a good movie.
I go 5 because it's my favorite movie I've seen this year. Actually.
Yeah, well, it's a good one.
Really crude and vulgar and violent.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
For a kid's superhero movie.
For kids, raunchy.
Yeah.
It's a must-see movie.
Uh-huh.
It definitely is. And here's Brian's cat. All right, we did it.
Okay. Come on.